What's going on? Good morning, good evening, whenever you're hearing this or listening. Like I said, I always try to make it a point to drop stuff on Monday, but I'm just gonna be real with you. I was tired. I didn't feel like dropping shit Monday, so I didn't get a chance to record. But kind of glad I didn't, because I only record one of these a week. So, and I don't feel like showing my face. Yeah. And with all that being said, welcome to this week's edition of my wonderful pro wrestling podcast that brings you that smoke. I'm talking about pro wrestling smoke. What's going on, people? Sorry for the lateness of dropping, but it's better to be late than never, ain't that right? Y'all lucky y'all even got an episode this week because I really didn't feel like recording. I got a lot of shit to record, and sometimes I be tired, man, because you're talking about the podcast from the Premium Smoke Room, plus the interviews that I have scheduled that I have to do on a regular basis, and record episodes for Thursday, and then, of course, at some point had the smoke on it, and this. So trust me, it's a labor of love, but it's a labor that can be tiring. You feel me? So, oh my God, this is brought to you by PassDat Apparel, SmokeKind.com, as well as Sara J's CBD self-care and pain management line. So please use the promo code BOBBIE to get 10% off of your order from SarahJCBD.com. That promo code is BOBBIE. Please trust me if you feel pain, if you want to relax. She got the products for you, people. Trust and believe. So, man, we got an interesting week. We got Forbidden Door dropping coming this weekend. I'm going to, of course, preview that. I don't sit here and go through all the shows match for match and shit like that. If that's what you want, go to another podcast. I give my thoughts collectively on each of the federations and so forth, and tidbit news that I find interesting. So anyway, let's begin with Naomi. Congratulations. Jimmy, Big Jim laid the pipe and finally impregnated that big booty girl. That ass gonna be fat, them tits gonna be tittying. Oh my God, so congratulations to her. She relinquished the women's heavyweight, the women's world title this past Monday. So now we don't know what they're gonna do about the belt and who will be wrestling for that title in Paris. We know Steady Victoria is definitely going to be in the match because prior to finding out that Big Jim finally plugged her up, either they decided it's time to have a baby or she forgot to peel that money. Because she's happy. Don't get it twisted because I think Jim had kids before her. But I think she forgot to hit that pill, and he probably was like, "You what?" So I want you to think about this. She probably she was pregnant during SummerSlam almost. So that means when Io Sky stepped on her stomach, she was stepping on the baby. The baby gonna have a lot of issues with Io Sky. So, oh man. Congratulations to Naomi. And to be honest, I know a lot of people gonna say, well, damn, is this a bad time to have a baby? She been in the business for a minute, dog. This ain't the first time she ever held the world title. She done had if she decided not to come back, she has had a Hall of Fame career. I dare say that right now if you talk about the best black female wrestlers in the game all time, Naomi is up there. Naomi is up there. Let's not pretend that Naomi has not earned the spot to be number one and number two. See, so, and I think I might do a top 5 females of all time, black. You feel me? So, shouts out to her, what have you. Now, before I go into talking about Triple Mania, let's talk about Ashe. And in wrestling, especially on the independents, because there's no contract. There ain't no I own you, or it's by appearance I take it, right? Or by booking. The Fatal 4-Way has now been changed because Jada Stone will no longer be a part of the match. She cannot make the show. We're about to listen to the owner of Ashe, my man Darius Lockhart, give us the tea, shall we say.
I hope everyone's doing well. Sadly, I'm here to bring you some unfortunate news about the upcoming event, Ashe Wrestling's Ashe 11. Before we get right into the bad news, I do want to address a few things. Despite Ashe Wrestling's commitment to bringing you exactly what is advertised and the best show possible, we have been plagued this year by a lot of last-minute cancellations, misscheduling, and things of the like. These issues and cancellations, they stem from things as complex as mental health crisis to last-minute injuries, to people, unfortunately, performers just misscheduling themselves.
Okay. I'm going to stop right there, all right? So people can understand this. When you're an independent promotion, right? When you're an independent promotion, you don't have a ironclad contract like that of WWE, like that of AEW, or even MLW. These are people who you contact, see if they have an opening. You pay them part of the deposit. You know, some people go as far as even cover their travel, hotel, so forth, or give them what is called transpo fee, where they pay them back what they spent to get there, right? Ashe, as much Ashe, Deadlock Pro, and all these wrestling promotions, a lot of these big stars that you see that appear there, they live in the area, so it's easy money for them. You get what I'm saying? But because they're not a big time company, they can't guarantee for so much, because one, wrestlers do get injured because they do other bookings. And I'm gonna give you my thoughts on what happened with Jada Stone once we finish the video, as well as travel issues. Yes, you had Kaylee Ray, who is right now the WWE ID champ. You know how many times she quit wrestling because of her anxiety? I just saw an episode of Dark Side from the Ring of Daphne, the Scream Queen, who killed herself. She had bipolar disease. So, and two, like I said again, they don't get no guaranteed contracts. They're not signing these people to guaranteed contracts. So they're having them via appearance. You feel what I'm saying? And to be honest, Ashe is not at the top of the food chain when it comes to the wrestling promotions. You get what I'm coming from? Period. They're blessed to have so many great wrestlers that live within a 2 to 3 state radius they can get to the shows. So I'm going to let him continue.
That said, this situation is a little bit different, and I would like for it to come from me myself. The advertised main event for Ashe Wrestling 11 is the accumulation of the Ashe Women's Title Tournament, which will crown the inaugural Ashe Women's Champion. The scheduled main event is a fatal 4-way between Charity King, Karen Bam Bam Renee, Savannah Evans, and Jada Stone. However, recently as of last week, Ashe Wrestling was made privy to the news that Jada Stone will not be attending just due to her choice. This is a situation where Ashe has worked very hard to make sure that we will bring you exactly what we said, but certain things just aren't up to us, and the performer ultimately has to choose to be there. We are sorry that this is a situation that is going to affect so many people, but we are still going to put 10 toes down and make sure that we give you guys the best show possible. A women's champion still will be crowned. It still will be a fatal four-way. And the last participant will be the winner of Maya World versus Aleah James. So, opportunity knocks. I hope to see these two women seize.
And if you've not seen Maya World or Aleah James, go Google them. This is going to be a barn burner match. And I actually kind of like the replacement better than having Jada Stone there. But let's have the conversation probably what happened, in my opinion, right? I know a lot of y'all gonna be like, you don't know, but Jada is signed to TNA Wrestling. She signed to them. Probably 9 times out of 10, she wants to have TNA be the primary for her. She needs to be ready to go for TNA because understand they have a partnership with WWE. So now you could say TNA can be a gateway drug to you getting into WWE. You're getting on NXT TV and so forth. TNA is looking to get a big TV deal. So she probably told him, I can't do it because I got to be committed. I got to stay healthy for TNA. Can't be mad at her. Because she has a better chance of making the WWE there than at Ashe. No disrespect to Ashe. And like I said, that's the thing that a lot of these small promotions fight against because you have the big companies scoop in and grab talent that they want to use. And sometimes those companies block or veto the talent being booked certain places. See, trust and believe, when Cedric Alexander went to TNA, he had to talk to them about appearing at Ashe. Because that's a contract. No, this ain't no, I'm going to pay you when you show up. No. This is a contract. You're signed. Right? You're here. So she probably looked at, what if I go to Ashe and get hurt and can't do the TNA shit? And she just recently signed a contract, so I can understand her thought process. But the replacement is not a bad replacement. My World is starting to blow up, as well as Aleah James. And I checked out both of these ladies. Yo, I'm just saying. So with that being said, the winner of that match will be the fourth participant in this. So as of right now, the card looks like we have Frontman Jai versus Darius Lockhart. Like I said, My World and Aleah James are going to be wrestling, and the winner will have their match later on that night, will be added to the match later on that night. Also, Ian Maxwell will be going against the guy that's been mentoring him and teaching him, Cedric Alexander. So we will see Cedric Alexander in the building. Congratulations to Culture Inc. being 48 in the PWI Hot 100 Tag Teams. Congrats. That's what I'm talking about. Also announced, which I saw, Suge D will be in the building, and we have a Pan-African World Diaspora title defense. As remember, I told y'all that Khan interfered in the match with Suge D and Adrian Broner, right? And Isaiah Broner, right? Well, Isaiah Broner gets his return title. He gets his return title match as he would go against Bishop Khan. and Suge D will be in the building. So I wonder what would happen with that. Also, Brona has a little promo. Let's see what we got. Hold on, let's go. Let's see what Mr. The Man has to say. Ashe. Let's go.
Congratulations, guys. You're the new Pan-African world champion. But I told you was going to have to see me, didn't I, cuz? And guess what? I ain't sure. So you better get your affairs in order. Take all the pictures you picked up as you can. You feel like this is your birthright. You feel entitled to be champion. Well, September 6th, Charlotte, North Carolina, Ashe Wrestling. The only thing you're entitled to is be beating that ass and taking the title.
I made it from nothing, hard to embarrass me. I only get
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that match. Like I said, if either I'm going to actually get it online if they don't offer it on YouTube and stream it that way, or I will be streaming from YouTube onto Facebook as well as X. So I'm telling you this now that I know Darius Carter should be defending the title. I think against either against Billy Dixon, I think. Unless they're gonna wait and hold that off to the next show. So those are changes happening with Ashe. And yeah, so that will be September 11th. Let me make sure. Hold on. Let me go back. That will be September 6th. It will be in Charlotte at the Slingshot. Yeah, it's about to be 5 people. I'm looking forward to watching for certain about this piece. I'm gonna definitely try to live stream it because I know I'll be getting off work, so I might be a little tired. But anyway, now Triple Mania has just passed. Now, for some of y'all that don't know wrestling, this is the WrestleMania for AAA, which is the organization from Mexico that WWE bought. There's a lot of twists and turns in the story. I get it. They had their biggest event, which is Triple Mania. And trust me, it was a WWE production. It was funny because I was watching. I said, well, damn, this don't feel like what you would get from AAA by itself without WWE. You know. The matches was pretty good. I know that a lot of they said that the attendance was great, which is no surprise there. I mean, AAA and CMLL is number 1 and number 2, no matter how you cut it in Mexico. Did good with YouTube. No surprise there. The matches was pretty good. I actually watched them and went back and watched some. Funny how in America we want Cross, and in Mexico is we want Alberto. I knew that they weren't going to keep Alberto Del Rio because of issues that he had in the past. Triple H don't like him too tough, and yeah, he has an assault charge, and it was against his ex-wife, Sara, aka Paige. So understand why they didn't want to keep him. Now I expect him to appear at CMLL. We may not see him on AEW TV, but he will probably be in CMLL. Wouldn't surprise me. But anyway, all the belts stayed with AAA people. The tag titles went back to AAA as Pagno and Psycho Clown got the tag titles. The women's title was retained. Van Kingo retained his title, but at Worlds Collide, which they announced, he'll be defending it against Dominic Mysterio. So now we got Dominic Mysterio in 2 feuds. One's in Mexico going for the Mega Campeon Championship, as well as what he's dealing with AJ Styles, because AJ Styles interfered in the match, costing him the match. I smell that they're going to try to get AAA a TV deal over here. Because one, they had American announcers. Which, if you ever watch AAA, they never have American announcers. The only promotion overseas that speaks non-legal English that have American English announcers is New Japan. They made a point to have that. But AAA never did. CMLL don't. Meaning that if you watched a AAA pay-per-view last year, there's no English commentary. You had to literally figure out what they were saying, and you kind of could figure out about how they was, speaking. So, where was I? So I smell that AAA is going to end up getting a TV deal over it. TV deal or streaming deal. Because think about what WWE did with Progress and ICW. You could actually watch their shows, which, Lord have mercy, I hate when they stop that. Watch their shows on the WWE Network weekly. Because we're already hearing that TNA might be going to CW or so forth. So then you got the YouTube with the YouTube numbers. We already have an example of what Lucha Libre can do over here TV-wise. Can do over here TV-wise with Lucha Underground. Because Lucha Underground, people forget, was doing numbers. And people was watching. So the question is, where would they put it at? So I'm curious to see where they would put AAA, because like I said, they've been using YouTube a whole lot. And at some point you need to have a weekly show, because if you're going to get the American audience into AAA wrestling, because that is what they're trying to do, then you need a weekly episodic show for people to watch. Now you got Evolve on Tubi. So the question is, like I said, I think the next best thing, because they're not going to get it on a network television station, probably 9 out of 10, they're going to get it on a streaming service. So I love the fact that Finn Balor has the puppet. I hope they incorporate that down the line for him to bring back the Demon. Because that would make for an interesting storyline. It could be his next storyline after the Judgment Day falls apart, and he just see the puppet and he talks to him. You know what I'm saying? He like, maybe it's time for me to return. No, I will not bring you out. No, I will not bring you out. It's time for me to return. But yeah. So anyway, I know with WWE, like I said, we got Paris coming up. We got Drew McIntyre definitely going to be going against Cody Rhodes. I like that this is the first title feud for him. Because one, Drew is a killer like that, and he can draw a lot of heat in this feud. Plus, John Cena will be going against Logan Paul. We heard the rumor of a match like this going down. I don't know if I really want to see John Cena go against Logan Paul, but because me personally, I would have thought that they would have put him against Solo Sikoa at some point, because Solo was the one that's supposed to put him down for a minute. But I guess they keep Solo away from it. But we know that he will be going against Brock Lesnar at this thing called WrestlePalooza, which is an old ECW pay-per-view name. And how can I put this? They're putting it head-to-head against All Out. Now, I know what everyone is saying, and y'all know how I feel about it, because the kind of program that WWE is doing against AEW, to me, is kind of stupid. Because here's the difference, right? I keep saying this. Y'all think that people still live in a house where there's one goddamn TV. No, seriously. It's like when I sit here and listen to the commentators, the people that talks about pro wrestling, they talk about the kind of program AEW. Oh, it might hurt sales. You know, it's going to... They've been saying this. AEW still break records with their attendance, still do sellouts. Their pay-per-view buy rates are high. And I keep saying this. You're talking about paid versus free. Not even that. We live in a world with multiple devices. Like my ex/Nest partner. She watches TV, the computer, and her phone. Me, myself, I can sit and watch TV and be on my phone at the same time. I've actually watched MLW and a WWE PLE at the same time. One on the big screen, one was on my phone. So if you think that any of the people that bought All Out, got tickets to All Out, is going to change their mind to stay home to watch Brock Lesnar and John Cena, they're going to be watching this shit. Oh, and by the way, they can come back and watch it on replay. Now, if we understand, this post is supposedly be, I think, on ESPN's app. Because I think they said the switch supposed to happen at the beginning of the year, but I think they're going to start doing some broadcasts on ESPN since that's coming up. I think that's what they're talking about. And I told y'all the reason why the ESPN shit is so high is because you're able to watch all the ESPNs. You feel what I'm saying? You're able to watch all of them. Meaning you have ESPN, all day, every day. So, but I don't see how this is going to be kind of programming because, like I said, if one, I don't buy AEW pay-per-views because I just don't. Because I know one day they're going to break and they're going to end up doing PLEs. Because that is what WWE's ultimate goal is. It's not to put AEW out of business. It's to make AEW become like them when it comes to consumption. Because Vince took away the pay-per-view. And trust me, they were making money with the pay-per-view. And in favor of having a network. Because he saw the future in streaming. AEW is like, no, people are willing to pay for these pay-per-views. $50. Discounted on Prime, right? WWE wants AEW to take away the pay-per-view model and adapt the premium live event. That's what this is about. Because they're figuring if we make them do PLE, it's going to hurt their money. Because a lot of their money and their bank money comes from the pay-per-views. Let's keep it 100. That's why they still do it. Trust me, the deal that they signed TV rights-wise, nobody has bought the rights to the pay-per-views. The reason why WWE is able to do the PLEs because these motherfuckers is paying them for the product and the PLEs. ESPN paid WWE for the right for them to put their top pay-per-views on ESPN. Because ESPN trying to make money with this app because this is a full ESPN app. That means all ESPN channels, everything ESPN, you're watching on there. There you go. So I found that interesting on that end. But with WWE, of course, we got that fatal three-way? No, four-way for the World Heavyweight title. And of course, he did the continuation of that this week. CM Punk talking to both Jay and Knight. We need to band together because which culminated in a match with Braun Breaker and your boy Jey Uso, which was a hardcore match because it was in Philly. And of course, the OTC came out and saved the day on everybody. So, and he said, I will see you at Paris. So, at another match, Roman Reigns against Bronson Reed. Now, remember we said Roman's either going to close the show or open the show, so expect that to be the first match we see. Which I like the way they set it up because they keep taking his shoes, but they never explain why he takes his shoes. I got an idea why he takes his shoes. It's some hood shit. It's disrespectful. You get what I'm saying? So, which are you trying to say this dude is Australian, New Zealand hood? But yeah. Of course, Sami Zayn should be going against Solo Sikoa for the U.S. title. We should be seeing Jacob Fatu versus Tonga at some point. The two big men. I'm looking for that. Also, we saw Bayley starting to lose her noodle because of the string of losses and stuff. I saw that vignette. Are we going to get an unhinged Bayley? I would like to see a dark, unhinged Bayley. Because when you think about all the Baileys that we saw the Bayley that was the kitty Bayley. Then she grew up. Then she became the role model. The hair color now and the booty done gotten thick over the years. I ain't even gonna lie, that girl, yes, Lord. I think the character changed and she should go a little darker with it. Black hair. You know what I'm saying? I like to see her in the same Bayley. I think she could play that. I mean, now I get it that you already got it same with Miss Cross with the Wide Sick, but I want to see what they're gonna do with that because also are we still gonna get the beat between her and Valkyrie, which I'm looking forward to. But we had Nikki Bailey. Nikki Bailey. My bad. We had Nikki Bella will definitely be challenging the man for the Intercontinental title. I'm curious to see what's going on with the U.S. Women's title because that has been quiet since Julia won it. Because they now got Chelsea Green. She's on NXT dealing with Ethan Page and what's going on with the Canadian shit. As well as on NXT, for some of y'all that was paying attention, Chick Williams retained the TNA championship. So apparently Santana's going to be the one to get it. They're just keeping Santana away from Trick Williams until that time come, I take it. And I think Obafemi will be going against Javon Evans at some point because they're pushing Javon Evans to go for the world title. They recently had the Fatal 8-man tag with Dark State. I'm still curious on what the fuck they're gonna do with Dark State. They just got them just wrestling anybody and attacking anybody, and there's no storyline, no focus, or no line of direction for these guys. They just masters of chaos, and that's it. There's no clear cut beef. You know, I understand long term planning, but it's kind of like the way they treated the Nexus. It's like it was a great idea, but they didn't know what to do with it when the idea got there. But I think it's time for Javon Evans to finally get a belt, especially the heavyweight title. Because he been close too soon, and he been doing too much on that platform for him not to get a run. And it's time for Obafemi, the ruler, it's time for him to give her the belt, man. I'm just being honest. So, I'm looking forward to this week. Ricky Saints going against Troy Jasper. I'm gonna be real with y'all. They dropped the ball on Rick. I don't give it. Fuck what y'all say. Y'all want to sit here and talk about, AEW know what they had with Ricky Saints and Ricky Saints had the North American title for a cup of coffee. He has not had a win on TV in a minute, and he don't look strong. Let's look at it. Ricky Saints look like a mid-carder right now. The same spot he was in the AEW. Let that sink in. Jade Cargill loses her chance to be the world champ on the biggest stage. Cody comes in, he damn near win the belt within a year and a half. Lexus King, y'all, he'll be better off in WWE. He's below mid-card. He's like B-level mid-card right now. And here's the thing, and mark my words on this. If Blake Monroe do not win the women's NXT title in the next 6 to 7 months, she's a bust. The Juggernaut, I see why they kept the belt with her away from her, because they want her to get the belt at a certain point, or they still thinking about moving her to the main roster. But Blake Monroe, once again, seemed like to me she ain't shining like she was in AEW, or maybe because she's not around a timeless star. That's why I'm tired of you WWE motherfuckers. And I'm a WWE motherfucker too. But I'm tired of y'all. All y'all tribalism, AEW to AEW, but WWE. Let's make this clear. Some of these motherfuckers was in the position they were in, where they were at, because of who they were. No disrespect. I love me some Ricky Starks, but Ricky Starks is not a franchise player in pro wrestling. He's not. He's not. He's not. Proves in the pudding. Has he had a shot at the NXT title? No. He can't even get a win right now. Ethan Page, you can point to AEW dropped the ball on him. I agree with that. Because Ethan Page is that phenomenal of a talent. But like I said again, all the AEW people lately don't seem like they're having a good time in WWE. I'm just saying. So, Penta, has he held the belt yet? No. Phoenix is in a tag team with Andrade. Penta's been he's right now top mid-card level right now. Phoenix ain't even in the mid-card. He's part of the tag team division. But y'all swore up and down the AEW dropped the ball. Them fuckers want to go to the WWE because of money. I want you to think about this for a second. Right now, let's look at it. They have not. Dominic Mysterio is going to go against Vikingo. You know how many wrestlers in Triple H could actually take that, should have that spot in that title shot? But because WWE want to WWE it, I'm going to tell you, you're going to start seeing, mark my word on this, you're going to start hearing news that some of the fans of Triple H is not going to be happy with the way Triple H looks. Give it about a year or two. But I was surprised they even had Pimpella in that battle royal. Triple H probably lost his noodles like, I can't believe we about to have Microman in this bitch. Okay, you know damn well, trust me, in 2 years, you may not see Pimpella anymore. You may not see Microman anymore. Even though they signed Microman because they want to Americanize Triple H. And I leave it at that. All right. So that's enough with the WWE shit. Now let's talk about Forbidden Door, AEW. Now, we're going to begin with, which I would perceive to be the main event. Love how MJF got suckered into putting his contract up. And it was funny as fuck because one thing I can say about MJF, he knows how to sell his shit. He knows how to put on a show. He allowed his ego to overtake his ambition. And he said, fuck it, yeah, I'll cash it in on Forbidden Door. And then I love how Heyman said, thank you, dumbass. But of course, you know MJF was going to get his get back when he attacked your boy and beat the shit out of him in the parking lot. Let's see, when is it supposed to be again? Make sure I'm not crazy. Yep, that's this weekend. So, yep, this Sunday. I wanted to make sure that I won't jump in the gun. All right. Now, MJF versus Hangman Page. This has been something that has been actually been set. If you want to talk about long-term booking, Tony did long-term booking because in the background, there's always been tension between MJF and Hangman Page. And I'm all for it. I like the way they set it up because at the time we didn't know that Adam Page was going to become world champion. And then, of course, him and MJF just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So how fitting is that MJF gets a world title shot against Hangman. This is a hard one. I have to look at Tony's booking. Okay. Last year, the guy that won the contract was Christian Cage. He cashed it in, and he was the one that got paid. Okay. So are you going to have 2 years in a row that the guy who had the contract cashes in and don't win? Two, at the same token, Hangman, who went through hell and high water to get the title off of Moxley, you have him lose it the first title defense. So my prediction is Hangman retains. Can MJF take the loss? Yeah. Can MJ take the loss? That's the question. Yeah, I think he can take the loss. You can have him come back down the line and win the title. Plus, he's already CMLL heavyweight champion. And two, once again, AEW, if you notice, they like to have the champions have a nice run. He don't like hot potatoing the belt. Because even when Blake Monroe, aka Mariah May, defeated Toni Storm, she held the belt for 3-4 months, allowed her to breathe with the title before Toni Storm came back and took it. So I see Hangman winning this, but at some point MJF is going to come back around. Because I do see MJF at some point becoming champ. All right, now, after that, we got Adam Copeland, Christian Cage versus Kip Sabian and Nick Wayne. This is short and sweet. Copeland and Cage win. One, Cage got to get his payback on his son. Two, have they had the eliminator yet? Hold on, let me see something here. I'm trying to see. Did they have the eliminator yet? Y'all can wait a little bit, because fuck that. Because I'm trying to see, did they have the eliminator? Okay, the eliminator is this Wednesday. No, it wouldn't be this Wednesday. It had to be Saturday. It has to be on Collision. Okay. They must have had the eliminator on Collision. So, anyway, back to my point. Cope, you want them to look strong going into whatever beef it is with MJF, with FTR. Okay. And I have a stinking suspicion because the long-term book is FTR versus Cope and them. Do you want the world title involved in this? Once again, I'm going to say again, you want your champions. He'd love to have his champions have a run. You know, Cope and K versus FTR is definitely going to be something down the line or sooner. But anyway, the point being is I see Cage and Copeland and Cage winning that match. Now, which brings us to the Hurt Syndicate is going to go against the winner of the Eliminator tournament. Now, depending upon who wins this, it's going to tell me a lot. Who wins the Eliminator tournament? If it's FTR, okay. Tell me if I'm crazy and I could be wrong. Let's put a pin in this for a second. Hypothetically speaking, we see MJF become the AEW champion. FTR become the tag champions because of each other. Because we still been planting the hint. See, y'all don't be seeing the Easter eggs. MJF and Bobby Lashley is having a collision course at some point. That is going to happen. It be in the window. Bobby Lashley don't like MJF. Bobby Lashley was the last one to vote him into the last one to vote him in, the first to vote him out. Bobby Lashley would probably love to beat the shit out of MJF every which way. Excuse me. You have MVP telling MJF that if you become champion, Lashley's going to come after you. Okay. Mind you, Lashley's still tag champ. So, and we haven't had him on his path to being the world champion yet. So, could that be a way to set that up? Like I said, but is he's going. If that the case, that means that one, you basically Tony Khan basically told MVP and them go fuck yourselves. If I say I want you to drop the belt to FTR, you're gonna do it. And two, that means that Hangman's second title reign was a cup of coffee. It might be looked at as a transition unless you talk about him getting the belt back and they switching the belt between each other. But what I think is going to happen is best bet or FTR does win. And Cope and Cage cost FTR the tag titles to set up that feud, which is already in the making to begin with. But I have a suspension that Bro Dito might win. I don't know why I keep thinking that, because it would make sense more booking wise, because Tony mentioned to the Hurt Syndicate, air quotes if you can see me, allegedly, that he wanted them to drop the belt to FTR. He mentioned it Forbidden Door. He mentioned another show, and they declined. So why would I put FTR in this match, knowing that the Hurt Syndicate is not going to put him over, or would want to put him over, or begrudgingly put him over, versus put Bro Dito on there, and then what you can do is have the Hurt Syndicate get set up for another feud where you could implement the Gates of Agony. You could implement this tag team or this tag team. You get what I'm saying? You know, I'm just saying. So anyway, next up is, of course, we got Kyle Fletcher versus Hiromu Takahashi for the TNT title. No. We already know. I love Kyle Fletcher winning. Mm-hmm. Expect him to have a nice long title run as the TNT champion. And at some point, wouldn't surprise he become world champion. Yeah. The IWGP, aka the New Japan Pro Wrestling World Title, is Zack Sabre Jr. will go against Nigel McGuinness with Daniel Garcia in his corner. Are we seeing Daniel Garcia do a heel turn? I don't see Zack Sabre dropping the title to Nigel McGuinness. I think it was a match that probably is a dream match, especially for anybody from the UK, because these are two UK legends going against each other. It's going to be a technical barn burner, because don't get it twisted. Nigel McGuinness, he can go. He still got it, you know. I take it that in his contract, he must wrestle a match here or there, or have choice of what he want to do. Found it interesting that he asked Daniel Garcia to be in his corner. Do I see Daniel Garcia maybe costing him the title at some point? That might be a case. Are we seeing a feud develop between Daniel Garcia and Nigel McGuinness, which means is Nigel McGuinness going to be more in the ring and less commentating on Collision? I'm curious to see, but I don't see Nigel McGuinness winning that match. So there you go. We have Mercedes Moné, Alex Windsor, Persephone, and someone from Stardom, and it will be for the TBS Championship. I think Moné might drop the title. Interesting that this is a four-way match, not a one-on-one. Moné does not have to be in the midst of the pin. I think Alex Windsor gets the title, because Moné has been with the TBS champion for over a year. Like I said before, at some point she need to drop that title. So, I think, yeah, Mercedes Moné. I don't see Mercedes Moné keeping the belt with this. I see Alex Windsor getting the title run. Period. That's what I'm thinking. All right. So there you go. Now, which leads me to this: Toni Storm versus Athena. They've been doing a good job to pump up this match, push this match, set it up. I don't see Athena winning. I think what they want to set up is Mercedes Moné versus Toni Storm 2. That is the money match in the women's division. Especially if Mercedes Moné loses the TBS title to Alex Windsor. The reason why I say Athena does not win because at some point Athena is going to lose the Ring of Honor title. And I got a stinging suspicion it might be Mina, so Akawa will be the one that gets that title. Because she's the television champion at this point in time. So at some point, I think she will go after, and that's the money match for that. But I don't see Toni Storm losing this title because once she won it back from Mariah May, in London. And like I said, she's been defending the title. She defeated Mercedes Moné, which shocked everybody because everyone probably thought that she was going to drop it to Mercedes Moné. And I still think that Toni wants Mercedes Moné as the AEW champion. So because of that, but I see Toni Storm retaining versus Athena winning the AEW title. And Moné comes and takes the belt the very next pay-per-view or her first title defense. So you're going to have Athena, who's been champ for damn over 1,000 days in Ring of Honor, come win the AEW title and then drop the AEW title at her first title defense, probably after the rematch with Toni Storm against Mercedes Moné. Now you're making Athena look like a transitional champ. Makes more sense, booking sense, and money sense if Toni Storm retains in a great match and Mercedes Moné come out to challenge her for the title. And she gets a second shot at the belt. You know what I'm saying? Which leads us to what happened with Athena. Well, Athena, you have Billy Starks, who's been her protege for I don't know how long, have her turn on the protege, had the protege turn on her, and they have a program for the Ring of Honor title. I'm just saying. All right, now we have Okada versus Swerve Strickland, which, in my opinion, will probably going to be match of the night. I do not see Swerve winning the Unified Championship. The reason why I say that, because Kenny Omega is the guy that they want to see unseat Kazuchika Okada. Actually, if you want to be technical about it, the seeds are there for Okada to feud with Takeshita. Takeshita, if people don't know, won the G1 Climax. So at some point, he's going to challenge for the New Japan Pro Wrestling title. He signed to both companies. We already see the tension between him and Okada. So the reason why I don't see Okada losing the title, or I'm going to give an ALB. Give me a second. To set up a title versus title match between Okada and Shinsuke, that you know who, Takeshita at Wrestle Kingdom for the main event. Now, on the other end of it, let's say Swerve win. This still sets up Okada versus Takeshita. But what he's going to do is he lost the title. Now Takeshita is going to look at Don Callis and say, see, this is the man that you backed. And it's going to be a tension where Don Callis got to choose between Okada or Takeshita. You get where I'm coming from? Which culminates to Takeshita at some point. Well, not technically, because Takeshita posed this is New Japan. No, this is Climax. Well, Takeshita, he's going to face Sabre Jr., Sabre Jr. At Wrestle Kingdom. So that shit has to implode. But anyway, Okada and the tensions arise because Okada loses that belt to Swerve Strickland. And Takeshita is feeling some type of way towards Okada, which sets up them two beefing, which at some point leads to either Takeshita, which I think Takeshita might win the IGW belt because knowing that he signed with New Japan and to get that belt back on American TV, I see that happening. But I don't see Okada losing the belt. I see that the feud is going to entail that title in some way, shape, or fashion. Swerve going to give a great match. Don Callis can't interfere. So either Okada, I don't know. Cause see, I don't know what the betting odds in Vegas, but I don't see Okada losing, but it wouldn't surprise me if they have Swerve win. Either way, expect a escalation of the story of Takeshita and Okada having tension because Takeshita is now the G1 Climax winner. Just watch. Because at some point, with Don Callis' family got to blow up. Yeah, we need that because, damn it, I need to see my man Alexander, goddammit, do some shit. The walking weapon. I'm like, damn, he's more than a henchman. And last but not least is the lights out steel cage match, which I don't know how big this steel cage is going to be. We had the Golden Lovers with Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi, with Darby Allin, Hiroshi Tensei, and Will Ospreay versus the Death Riders, Claudio Castagnoli, John Moxley, the Young Bucks, and it probably been Gabe Kidd, but I think he's hurt, so they replaced it. The good guys win. One to set up Darby and Moxley. I think Darby's going to get the pin on Moxley. Also this sets up the Young Bucks versus the Golden Lovers in a feud. The question is, what would happen to Will Ospreay after this? Meaning that if Swerve don't win the title, will we see him and Swerve go for the tag titles? Because that was a conversation because at some point it posed me Swerve and Will against the Young Bucks. Again, that feud. But apparently they moved on but yeah, I see the good guys winning that cage match. So on the whole, I'm looking forward to hearing about, I wish I could see it. Hearing about and seeing the highlights of this pay-per-view, I think it's going to be good. I'm curious to see how they're going to continue the pay-per-view model in the next 5 years because the pressure that WWE is putting on them with the kind of programming and so forth, which is still laughable when I think about it. You feel me? Like I said, I told y'all who I thought going to walk away with these victories and these wins. I'm gonna say it again. I am curious to see what happens. Like I said, the match tonight to me is definitely gonna be that Strickland and Okada. I think both are gonna do very well. They're both gonna do very well. I'm so looking forward to seeing that match and everything. And also, don't forget, September 6th is Ashe 11. I already told you the changes to the card. I talked about it at the beginning. I'm curious to see who they're going to have win between Aleah, James, and Maya World. I still feel that Charity King will be ultimately the first inaugural women's champ because she's the most around. You know what I'm saying? And I am looking forward to seeing her and Tasha Steele go off for that title because Tasha Steele's around. And I got to check out Carol Hogan on Jocelyn Cabaret. Or she's on one of them damn shows where the girls be fighting. I'm just saying. But hey, sometimes you got to make your bones the way you make them. So there you go. So I am done. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. You know what I'm saying? Better late than never. After I drop this, make the covers, I'm going to drop this to the world to listen. Please like, comment, and subscribe, especially if you're listening to it on YouTube. Leave some comment. Tell me what you think about the commentary, what you think about the pro wrestling comment and stuff and everything. And and let's not forget also the other podcasts that's a part of this wonderful network that I have, the Smoke This Over Podcast Network. Smoke This Over, aka the Smokers Lounge. You know, I drop an episode every Tuesday, Thursday, bonus smoke Fridays on Friday, and I do 2 special smoke episodes which I drop every other Monday. As well as the place where the conversation gets saucier, the tits pop out, dildos might pop out. You don't know what pop off unless you subscribe. I'm talking about On Loyal Fans, the Premium Smoke Room, my Risque Podcast Network. I'm talking about 4 premium podcasts for you to enjoy. Plus, I open up the VIP Smoke Room and go live with the VIP Smoke Room every now and then on X, where people can ask questions. You feel me? And the ladies will answer. Also, check out my members section, subscription section over on Spotify, where I have 2 wonderful podcasts for you to enjoy. First one called Had the Smoke on it, where I give my unapologetic and controversial and unpopular opinion on certain topics and, situations. As well as Savage Smoke, as I talk to the industry's top male talents and producers, and we give you that real smoke from a male's perspective about the industry. So please subscribe to either the Premium Smoke Room or subscribe to the Spotify member section, where you can get some Savage Smoke or check out where I had the smoke on it. Either way, just subscribe to the smoke. Great content for a decent price that will not break your pockets, and great perks, especially in the Premium Smoke Room. So, all right, people, I'm out. You know how we end these things all day. Life is a learning experience. What's the point of the experience if you haven't learned anything? Smoke this over.
Don't go to bed with no price on your head. No.
Yeah. Bullshit. You.
Don't do the crime.
Boy, rap star.
What's up? This your boy Drizzy Drake, and you are now rocking with Kane.
Live on the stick, back on my shit. Now I'm beating dick to a boy big. Back on my rap shit, no rap shit. Can't say shit. Just trying to be hood, but not dead, you think? Your boys can't watch from the sideline. As I get mine like a rip tide. Don't get carried by the rock side. As I try to get my broke dance like apartheid. South Africa. Top spot, I'm coming after your laughter. For the boys who thought it was safe after I left the game. Now
the champ, I'm still the shit. And y'all just the shit, not even worth a comment.
Don't go to bed with no price on your head, no. Don't do the
What's up? It's your boy Drizzy Drake, and you are now rocking with Pain.
Yeah.